Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the weekly power rankings. It is Sunday morning, so you know what that means. I'm the bubbles of the Wrasslin for Life Network. Will YM over there is one half of the colossal connection. Uh, Lyra Joe, how are you doing there?
I'm doing good, but I'm also fascinated. When did you become the bubbles of the show? Because you hated being referenced that. And it is the Crimson
Uh,
Chronicles. Thank you very much.
colossal
We
connect.
are
I'm sorry, yeah, but
we are the
no,
Crimson or the Stream Sirens.
hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, I started watching Trailer Park Boys, so I started calling it. I started taking it as a massive compliment now.
it
With
is
the
a
bubbles. Yeah.
compliment.
So
Yes.
yeah, and last night we started talking about Trailer Park Boys. So I mean, it was a sick time. But anyways, yes, it is the power rankings. Nick with a bit of early predictions. Will this be the week the
Yes.
reigning undefeated, undisputed Joe Dynamite keeps his spot at number one? My early predictions for this week is SmackDown, Rampage, NXT, Impact, Dynamite, and Raw. He thinks Raw takes it.
I did not watch Raw, and people say that it's good, but I I I only have one question. Is it good in the broad spectrum, or is it good on the scale of Raw?
Maybe good on the scale of Raw. I mean, I definitely think Raw's top three. I don't know, but that's what we're here to find out, as it is indeed the power rankings time. Look at that beautiful thumbnail. And yeah, so we're gonna go over all the shows, sort of summarize them, and essentially just show you where everything sort of ranks up and where everything is placed. So, LJ, are you ready?
Yes, kind of. I did not watch all the shows, so I'm
Kind of.
depending on you.
Oh, you're gonna depend on me. Okay. I'm gonna
Yes.
go back to my reviewer routes. Okay. Well,
I'm
ladies
just
and
here
gentlemen,
to I'm here to defend Impact.
yeah. Well, you're good at impact. I'm not the best, so at least we have you. So number six, drum roll, please. SmackDown. Who's surprised by this? SmackDown is always the sort of shit show of wrestling as of late.
I'm not surprised at all, considering when I joined for Rampage on Friday, the only thing that was said about SmackDown is you missed nothing.
Yeah, I had
So
like a bit of a mental breakdown because SmackDown was shit. I rated it a 2. Yeah, my personal opinion, it deserves to be at this spot. And yeah, I mean, so we started off the show with a steel cage match, Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Um, Obviously the whole build up for this rivalry was Sami Zayn keeps running away. So it's like,
yeah,
hey, put him in a
put
steel
him in a
cage.
cage. Yeah.
So McIntyre kicks Sami Zayn's ass, gets a clean win. So I guess that feud's over. Kind of average match at best. I think we all knew that if Sammy wasn't running away, McIntyre was going to win this. Nick says SmackDown was by far the worst, almost a 0 out of 10 for the week, exactly. And we're going to get to that. Then we had Happy Talk by Happy Corbin. Of course, Baron Corbin stole the Andre the Giant trophy. Madcap Moss dressed as one of the people who carried the trophy and just sort of kicked his ass. And then that was really it. I mean, meh,
Oh, nothing happened. Okay.
really nothing. Ricochet defeated Shanky in an Intercontinental title match. Good thing that the Intercontinental Championship is getting more and more defenses, but it's against people that are not it. I mean, so obviously we knew Shanky was going to lose. It seems like we're getting a little bit of a Shanky and Jinder Mahal hinting at getting split.
Well, probably because, tag teams are cursed in WWE. I think
Yeah.
it's more the other shows slipped and Raw was just the best of the week. So good compared to Raw, LJ. Good to know. I'm open to that being a possibility. I just have zero faith in Raw
Yeah,
as a
I
thing.
mean,
As a whole, don't have much faith.
it's very easy to not have faith in Raw, but much to Nick's point, it has kind of been an off week. It's kind of been a meh week. Um, yeah. Next we had Raquel Gonzalez Oh no, Raquel Rodriguez. Sorry, defeating a jobber in her SmackDown debut. She was smiling like a brother trucker. Like man, she could not stop smiling.
A brother trucker. I've never heard that expression. Is that the new lingo so that like is that for the family friendly thing, people?
Yes,
Okay.
brother trucker. So yeah,
Brother trucker.
no surprise there for Raquel. Then we got this confusing thing. There was supposed to be a contract signing between the Usos and the Bloodline for a unification match for the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles. Roman Reigns comes in, destroys some people. McIntyre comes in, fends off. And then it turns into a 6-man tag between McIntyre and RK Bro and the Bloodline. And it seems like it's building up with no titles on the line.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm every time I have to resort back to watching WWE, I just remember that this is another reference that's been used by other wrestling reviewers. It's the Muppet Show.
It's the Muppet Show.
Except in the Muppet Show, the fun parts are you get to see all the behind the scenes action. That's the funny parts. Unfortunately, we're the audience. We don't see anything backstage, and everything put out on stage only depends on the show yesterday and nothing else.
Yes.
I've narrowed it down to a science. It is only the previous show that matters and nothing more.
Yeah, that's what it really seems to be. And then, of course, the Mystery Wrestling for Life Network. LJ
Yes.
and Will, let's
I've
go.
secretly I've secretly stolen KJ's spot. I am here. LJ, a wild LJ appears with ears.
Interesting week in wrestling. What's good
Yes.
there, Ronnie? Happy
Hello.
Sunday. Then we got Naomi and Shayna Baszler. Man match really means nothing. Let's move on. Another match that means nothing. Xavier Woods defeating Ridge Holland again. I mean, we've seen this so many times. Then Sheamus comes in the ring, beats Kofi Kingston. No sign of
Wait,
Butch,
hold
by the
on.
way.
How many women's matches were on SmackDown? You've mentioned one with Shayna
Uh,
and Naomi.
well, I mentioned 2 so far because of Raquel versus the Jobber.
Okay, that's good enough. That's still one match.
And then we got to the main event. So this is the third women's match. Ronda Rousey defeating Shotzi in a Beat the Clock I Quit challenge match. And then Charlotte tried to defeat Aaliyah, but Charlotte couldn't beat the time. So Ronda Rousey won the Beat the Clock challenge, which really meant nothing. I mean, they
Reading the hello Ronnie. Yes. Yeah, reading the card for that night in the news, it sounded better than it actually happened. And you know what? If Vince McMahon can put 3 women's matches on a 2-hour show, even if they're good or not, or make sense or not, he still gave them 3 matches. Tony, Mr. Tony Khan, you got to step up your game.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, this was like a very mediocre week for SmackDown.
But
Not really
that's what I
anything.
mean. If the show
Yeah.
mediocrity is 3 women's matches and AEW's is 1, it bothers me. Considering WWE has like 26 women in total.
But yeah, they keep firing all the women. So Shotzi and Aaliyah, I'm surprised they even still work there. But anyways, yeah, that
I
was
would give them extra points for having 3 women's matches, but I didn't watch it, so you're the power rankings guy here. So
it sucked. It sucked.
okay,
That's all we
I'm gonna
gotta
agree
say.
with you. Don't worry, I'm agreeing.
That's all we gotta say. It sucked. So that was SmackDown. Shit, get it out of the way. Now we're on to number 5 for the power rankings, which is NXT 2.0, the show with the releases. So
Yeah, why is Dexter Loomis gone?
I don't know. So it went down 1 spot from last week.
I don't even like him, and I'm confused why they're gone, because he was at least a character that was notable. He had a thing, he had a gimmick. I didn't really understand the storylines, but I was like, okay, but he's recognizable, and he's a good wrestler.
Yeah, he was a decent enough guy. You could have done a lot with him, but they I guess they decided not to.
What is Indy Hartwell supposed to do now?
Indy Hartwell's going to be the next jobber. I mean, look at what Wesley's doing. But Yeah, let's go over NXT, shall we? The new sex symbol, Nikita Lyons defeating Lash Legend in a okay match, in like a okay you're here match.
Mhm.
Um, Von Wagner defeating Tony D'Angelo. Remember, Tony D'Angelo is the guy who beat Tommaso Ciampa.
Da,
So
da, 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 da,
it's
da.
on.
I have been informed by the Italian people that this movement means what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
What?
So I'm using it appropriately, as in what is NXT?
Yeah. Nathan Fraser, God knows who this person is, wiped out Grayson Waller. Good to know. Uh,
Okay.
I think Nathan Fraser's a new guy, so I guess that's his way of debuting.
I Now I hate to tell you this. My little dyslexic brain heard Nathan and Grayson, and I thought you said Grayson beat up Grayson.
No, Nathan beat
No,
up
I'm
Grayson.
aware of that, but
Yeah,
that's how similar the names are. It's not gonna work.
they're not
Shay,
creative in the slightest.
this is like when white man with dark hair fights white man with dark hair, and they're both wearing black trunks, and you're like, if there was a blind person trying to listen to this, they would have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Then next, women's tag team action. Katana Chance, formerly known as Casey Catazaro, defeating Yulisa Leon and Valentina Feroz, whoever those people are. So,
I
um,
know none of these women. I'm
yeah. So,
trying so hard to dig in the depths of my brain, and I'm like, who?
yeah, this seems to be like a who the hell are these people match. Legado del Fantasma defeating Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley in a 3-on-2 match.
Okay, why is Phantasmo fighting Hallen? I thought they didn't like intergender matches.
I don't know.
I am so confused. Do they know what they're doing? Do they just take drugs before they make NXT?
I, uh, I don't know. They probably do. Solo Sikoa defeating Trick Williams. Trick Williams is the henchman for Carmelo Hayes, so I guess that's trying to set up the North American Championship match.
I just assume that Solo Sikoa will be winning money things like his cousin Roman.
I really hope Solo takes that U.S. champion, not U.S. North American Championship away. The Viking Raiders coming back to NXT and defeating Malik Blade and Idris Anofi. Two nobodies. There we go. Viking Raiders
Yeah,
are
yeah.
on NXT, which I guess is all right. But now you're taking all the SmackDown tag teams and bringing them on NXT. So at least the Viking Raiders are doing shit now. Mandy Rose defeating Roxanne Perez.
Well, yes, because Mandy is Mandy, and I don't know who Roxanne Perez is, or is that daddy's girl?
I don't know who Roxanne Perez is. I have no idea who half these people are.
Cool. We just got rid of Dakota Kai and Dexter Loomis, and now we have a whole roster of people that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Took
Braun
the
Break.
Tommaso out of Champa. It's so
Yeah.
sad.
Theory out of Austin. Then main event, Braun Breaker attacks. No, Joe Gacy attacks Braun Breaker, which is okay.
Not a smart decision there, Gacy.
Yeah, especially since your little bodyguard there, Harlan's nowhere to be found anymore. So
Question: why is his name Joe Gacy when there's a serial killer named John Gacy, like John Wayne Gacy? So his name would be John Gacy, and it's really close to Joe Gacy.
I have no idea. Nick
Cool.
says she was Roxy in Ring of Honor. I don't watch Ring of Honor.
Oh, that's okay. Then I know who you're talking about then, because Roxy is taking over an AJ type style of wrestling for women. She's trying to be all like skipping around, but also mean, and I like she fits it, but it's kind of just like you already had this character, and you can't. AJ is AJ. You can't have another AJ.
Yeah, facts. So that was NXT 2.0. I forgot how many people rated it, but it didn't seem like that good of a show anyway. It was full of who the hell are these people moments. So yeah, sort of a mess show. Now,
Yeah.
bringing things over to number 4, we have AEW Rampage. So, seems like the mess show of AEW. Um, so first off, we kicked off with the Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament qualifying match. Swerve Strickland and Darby Allin.
It was a very good opener, and I remember watching the show, but it was very much. I'm pretty sure I rated it a 6 out of 10 because it was not the greatest, but it was still okay.
Mm-hmm. I think it was pretty obvious Darby was gonna win this. I mean, why put Darby in a qualifying match if he's not gonna win? I don't know. I'm kind of mad with Darby Allin, but a lot of people seem
You're
to like
just
him.
mad because he's the luckiest man on earth.
No, it's because I just don't see what other people see in that dude, man. I don't know. Um,
He's cut from the same cloth as Jeff Hardy. That's what I see. Same
okay,
cloth, different person, but same cloth.
understandable. Then we have a six-man tag, the baddie section now. Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, and Red Velvet defeating Sky Blue, aka AW's Core Jade, Willow Nightingale, and Trish Adora.
Yes, and this is where I had the most confusion. Because, yes, I love the baddie section and I love the message, and let's have baddies and fan each other with money that has our faces on it, like the Young Bucks. Love it. Why is Red Velvet friends with Jade? They want to kill each other on and off screen. It makes no sense. And I wish oh, you just missed one episode, or that, no, I've been watching. There's no answers.
I don't know. Then we have our casual Keith Lee destroying Fest defeating Colton Gunn.
Yes, left cheek.
Left cheek of the ass boys. Um, yeah, I have no idea.
Wow, you're super enthused about Rampage.
I don't know, man. And then we have Jeff and Matt Hardy in the back with Tony, and they say they miss Owen Hart. Jeff Hardy will take on Bobby Fish in a qualifier match.
Yes, that popped me. That popped me. I cannot wait for Wednesday for Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish. That's going to be an amazing match. And it's like, because I know how quick Bobby Fish is, and like he's a really efficient type of like Cesaro person. And then versus Jeff, because he's Jeff Hardy. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, maybe that means that this is where it's going to lead for Darby versus Jeff in the Owen Hart qualifiers.
oh yeah, that could be. But wouldn't you think it's weird since Adam Cole advanced, Kyle O'Reilly advanced? It's kind of scary because what if Bobby Fish does advance and Jeff Hardy's reduced to being on Dark?
First of all, what's the problem with Dark?
Nobody watches it.
Yeah, nobody watches Raw half the time either.
Well, Nick says Jeff Hardy's actually wrestled Owen Hart. It would be fitting if he went far in the tournament.
I would absolutely love that. Yes. And hello, Anthony. Yes, hello in the chat. Hello. First of all, I don't understand the problem with Dark. And secondly, Tony talks to all, like it's been mentioned in all of the things, like all of the backstage interviews, that Tony talks to the legends and asks them if they want to be on Dark and Elevation before he just books them. He asks them and they say, yes, I want to be involved in the newer talent. I don't just want to be on stage for the fame. I would like to wrestle these new guys. I want to people forget that the wrestler also wants to be there, so I'm not really understanding how it's an insult to be on Darker Elevation. Yes, they are more like they're better than NXT. Both of them are better than NXT. So I'm not sure how it's an insult just because they're on YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Anything's better than NXT. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but like people hate on it. They're like, oh, he's just gonna Jeff Hardy and Punk are just reduced to YouTube, and it's like, what are you watching right now? YouTube. Fuck off.
Oh, okay. Then we have Danhausen, very nice, very evil, as he calls out.
I love that.
Good old Hook.
Very nice, very evil, and I love that the commentators were saying Hookhausen.
Hookhausen.
I absolutely love that. I don't care if they tag team together. I don't care if they fight together. Hook and Danhausen are a team that I would buy a shirt of. I would buy that shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're hinting at a Hookhausen tag team. Um,
Hookhausen.
Hookhausen, I don't freaking know, or Dan Hook, whatever.
Well, because
Um,
Hook is impervious to Danhausen's curses.
yeah, so Danhausen wants a handshake. Hook runs away. So then the main event, Ring of Honor Television Championship, Samoa Joe versus Trent question mark.
That was very, very good, but Joe is gonna win because he's Joe.
Yeah, I didn't really see Trent winning this by any means. So, yeah, it's good to see Samoa Joe finally back in the ring and with a championship and defending it.
Yes. Yes, and he looks so happy. Like when he won and he just picked up his title, it was just like the the other company would not clear this man, and just look how happy he is to be fighting, defending his championship. Like there's obviously nothing physically wrong with him if AEW's doctors cleared him because they're extra picky about like things.
Yeah,
So I'm not really I like I'm really happy that Samosif Joseph won. I'm just like,
Samoa.
wow, he's so happy here. Why? How in the world was he not cleared before?
Yeah, I don't know how Samoa Joe wasn't cleared already. He looks very good, and yeah, he won. He won the match. So that was Rampage. So yeah, pretty decent, but not really the most eventful in everyone's taste. Number 3, it is. This is where you come in. Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Josh Alexander defended his title for the first time, and it was fantastic.
Hmm.
We did have some women's wrestling, and it was pretty great. Like I was happy with it. The only thing that I was unhappy with is the amount of commercials, because Impact is known for not being commercialish. Now they're getting a little too many.
They're getting promo packages. When
Yeah, that too.
we
They're
had
getting a little
Vincent
extra
and
promo.
we had Vincent and Crazy Steve.
Yes.
Who else?
I love the whole Monsters Ball thing where they're bringing back POC as literal Frankenstein because he's a Canadian Frankenstein. Love
We had
that.
Heath and Rhino versus the Briscoes. Obviously, the Briscoes won that.
Yes. Yes, well, because they're the Briscoes, and the Briscoes are the greatest ever. Well, one of the greatest ever. See, I need a whole brother tournament tag team thing. We need the Hardys, the Briscoes, the Top Flight, the Ass Boys. There's like so many brother tag teams that I need in a tournament, and it would make me so happy.
Yeah, so then we had Honor No More, Eddie Edwards, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett taking on Mike Bailey and Motor City Machine Guns. Honor No More won that.
Yeah,
So
I love the Motor City Machine Guns, but I know when they're not gonna win. I know that they are the baby faces meant to be baby faces, that they cannot ever change and be mean because I can't boo them. It's impossible.
then we had Knockouts World Champion Tasha Steeles and Savannah Evans taking on DK. And DK won that.
Yes. Yes, and I love that. I love that the creepy girls are getting more wins, and it's not just because it's around Halloween season.
Well, it's not. It's May.
No, I know, but they give like Abaddon more wins and more spots and a lot more decay spots when it's around October. And it's like, okay,
Ah,
I get your point here, but I was like, oh, awesome! It's finally like May, and you're still giving the creepy girls a spot. Woo!
yeah, and then we had the Impact World Championship, Josh Alexander defeating Moose to retain
Yes,
his
it
newly
was
won Impact
epic.
World
He
title.
had his child come in the ring, and he's like, oh, it was just so cute. Well, that was when he won it, but like, then we had this wonderful. So I thought it was great. I think Josh Alexander has earned it. He may have injured one of a wrestler in the past, but the wrestler is back and get together, so I'm getting over it.
Yeah, and then apparently he's going to defend against Tomohiro Ishii at
Yes,
Under Siege.
Mr. No Neck. Yes,
Mr. No Neck
it's
Tomohiro Ishii.
it's it's totally respectful, but you have no neck, sir.
So God knows how
It's
that's gonna
probably
be.
just pure muscle that connects the head to the shoulders, like just like Juggernaut in the X-Men.
Yeah, so Impact exists, but I think it's all right. Just
Impact exists. Thank you, Will. Thank you.
Impact
Yeah.
exists. That's my view on it.
You
I
gotta
don't know.
come down to Thursdays for the Impact watch party with LJ and her cat ears. They're so cute.
The cat ears,
They match the red hair, so I thought they would work.
and they match the red and the 20 on Impact.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah,
But
Impact
on to our number 2, I guess.
number 2 spot. Now, here's where everyone just jumps out of their seat. Will it be the reigning, defending, um, Power Rankings champion Dynamite, or will it be Raw? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Get your drum roll. What is number 2? Holy bejeebus! Holy bejeebus! We finally saw the week that AEW Dynamite is number 2.
What happened? I'm not filled in on how
I don't
great
know.
Raw was compared to Dynamite because Dynamite is pretty damn good.
Like, this is the episode where we saw Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky. Okay, Sammy Guevara, I can understand. We saw Adam Cole, the
Yeah,
Young
negative
Bucks.
point for that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
we saw Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and Red Dragon team up on the same page. We had 2 members of FTR face each other and the Blackpool Combat Club. I don't know what.
No, okay, you got the Blackpool Combat Club on there. It's already number 1, wouldn't it be? Look, I said it correctly without reading it. Yay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it's number 2. Apparently, this
Wait,
is.
what were the
Remember,
women's matches?
this is judged on fan ratings. I don't know, but I'm just going to go over the show in order.
Dude.
Dax Harwood defeating Cash Wheeler. A very sick match between.
Oh, yeah, why is that
The
not at
Revival.
number 1? They literally I reported on this. They asked Tony if they could have a one-on-one match, and if they're opening with it, like, geez.
I don't know.
That match could not be worse.
This is
than
from fan
Raw.
rating. This is from fan ratings. I don't know how this is number 2. I think this is just so they could see the day that Dynamite's number 2. I think they just wanted Dynamite on number 2.
Probably.
The streak is over. Cut to Shock Taker fan face. It seems to be like that. And this was also the episode where it was announced that Double or Nothing, Hangman Adam Page defends against CM Punk.
Yeah,
why is this number 2?
I don't know. For me, it is number 1.
For me, this is number 1. But
you can't open with FTR
2.
trying to kill each other.
This is number 2.
The British Club of Pools.
Yeah, the British Club of Pools. Also here, defeating QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, and Nick Camarado.
What was the women's match?
I don't see any women's matches right now. The Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, defeating.
Okay, well now I understand.
Oh no, facing Wardlow. Wardlow obviously won.
Are you getting ready for work? It's 1 o'clock.
I'm gonna go to work shortly.
You have to go to work now.
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay.
Yeah, take over.
So due to some technical difficulties, LJ is here now. She didn't watch Raw, so I'm not sure how I'm supposed to continue the show by myself. But we're gonna keep. I don't even have the buttons. Okay. Hi everyone. Guess on to number 1 that I didn't watch, so I don't know what to say.
Well, you should have watched, and I know what to say.
Hey, KJ, thank you for coming back on. That was awkward and weird.
Yeah, that was unexpected. The trusty old mute button should be, used, but I mean, we can always edit it out if we want. But yeah, shit happens, and we roll. This is what happens when you're on like 40 hours a week live. You're bound to have a funny moment or two. Yes. So the big shock of the week. AEW Dynamite dipped to number 2, and in my humble opinion, I can kind of see why. It's not that
you gotta explain it to me though. Like, what was the women's match on AEW? Because Will said it didn't exist.
Yeah, they had what did they have on? Give me a second. They had. I feel like Jade Cargill fought on.
No, that was Rampage.
Rampage.
The baddies were on Rampage.
Will get called to gorilla position. 1 second. Sorry, impromptu jump on here. So
It's all good. I'm gonna. Nick has a good answer. It just fell flat. It opened with a great match and ended with Sammy go away heat and a pointless spot. Okay, that one makes more sense. If it did end on a Sammy, then I understand why it could be a little lower because it is how you leave them that counts.
Yeah, the show was all right. It started good.
Yeah, like the match with FTR versus FTR. I'm gonna go back and rewatch that. Like it's great, but I understand if you end it with a Sammy. So.
Yeah, but it was just lackluster, and I think part of the problem is, and we've talked about this several times, is that no, that's not it. We've seen the ladder matches and the brawls and all the same shit so many times that it kind of wears on you. But we had Cheetah and Deeb in the street fight.
That's what it was. So we had a women's street fight. Now, what in the world was going on Raw that beat FTR versus FTR and a women's street fight with Deeb and Cheetah? Because those two right there is like 6 to 7 out of 10. So even though you ended with a Sammy, what was Raw?
Well, the problem was Dynamite didn't really deliver, so the fans ended up giving it an 8, but a 7. Now Raw wasn't spectacular, but it was just slightly better on this particular week. So
it's honestly like you're telling me the sky is green all of a sudden. Like I'm like really trying so hard to understand. But I'm like what are you saying? 1 + 1 = 2. I don't know what the answer. Why is it equaling 3 today?
Well, this is what happened, and this is where the X factor of all this, LJ. So Raw was the 20-year celebration of Randy Orton.
Okay.
So the show starts with a package to Orton, and it was awesome. So we all kind of marked out on that.
It was Orton. I understand. Okay, I get where the extra points are coming in because when you leave the show to Randy Orton, he is pretty great. I get that part.
Mm-hmm. Then they set up an 8-man tag with Cody Rhodes comes out, gets introduced, he gets his own entrance, separate from the rest of the group.
Oh, of course, yes.
And so he comes out and gives Randy a hug because they're old friends. And then we end up with a tag match, and it's Orton, Cody, Ezekiel, and who was the last baby face on that side? Oh, and Riddle, obviously. And
These are not baby faces.
Well, this is the babyface team against Seth, Owens, and the Usos.
KO is more of a baby face than Cody.
They've turned him heel again. Ezekiel's the baby face. It's weird.
I agree. Ezekiel does have a baby face. Yes.
He really does.
But Cody is not. He's a heel. I will never. Nope. He thought the boos were bad before. Oh no. Yeah, I'm just getting over Josh Alexander hurting Alex Shelley like years ago. You think this is gonna? I'm gonna be on this forever.
Right. So we had a really shitty match between Sonya Deville and we did get some ladies match to kind of open the action. So Belair and Deville for the belt. They did the old. She got counted out, so there's no count outs. She got DQ. Now there's no DQ. Carmella and Vega come out, but Bianca still won. So there you go. Then we got Veer versus Sammy Smothers in a squash. It is what it is. It was a squash. So we're not killing it by any stretch. Then we got the Reggie, Dana Brooke, Tamina Tozawa nonsense. It was terrible.
That has to knock some points off of it.
It did. Well, yeah, maybe. Listen, I only gave Raw a 7. I could see Dynamite being the better show, but I mean, the vote's a vote. Becky Lynch, and this is one of the reasons why this show won this week. Asuka returned to Raw.
Yes. Okay. If it all depends on Asuka coming back to Raw, I will give it the #1 spot because AEW did not do much for the women other than the street fight. So if they're gonna have a very lengthy match with Sonya and Bianca, which
Mhm.
that's fine. But you gave them a lot of time with all the different stipulations, and then you have Becky introduce Asuka. I totally understand that, so I'll give it the number one spot. I love Sheeta and Deeb, but Sheeta can do a lot. Both of them can do a lot more, and this whole thing is getting tired.
Yeah, and I mean it just was like the Deeb. I'm a huge fan of Serena Deeb. I like Sheeta, but the match was just very meh.
Yeah,
You know?
like both of them can have better feuds, and they're like. I honestly thought Serena was just going to be a producer backstage.
Mhm.
So I'm really confused why she's getting a lot of TV time when you have an entire roster.
Right. But then we got a pretty good match between Finn and Damien, even though it was another rematch, and poor Finn loses again. So that was this is where, like, that was a solid match. People appreciated it. Then we got Miz had Theory on for Miz TV. But we got
yes. Oh, I was just reading what Nick's comment was, and I get sometimes when the quality is so high and they rose the bar, and if they can't stick to the bar, it's almost like a disappointment. Yes, I get it. Yes.
Mhm.
We can give Raw number one this week. Yes.
Then we got Mustafa Ali's big surprise return, which is kind of one of the WTF moments of the week, as far as nobody saw this guy returning at all ever after demanding his release publicly, and here he is and he wants the U.S. title.
Well, I mean, didn't I mention there was like some little extra snippet in the news that like he's still in talks, but there was nothing official that was reported, and then I guess he showed up, so that's good.
Yeah. Then as Ali was celebrating, he got jumped by Ciampa, who no longer has a first name.
Oh yeah, he lost.
Poor Oscar Mayer Oscar Mayer would be certainly in trouble with Vince McMahon, because Wiener has a name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ciampa came out, and I think a lot of people popped for that. So it looks like Ciampa and Ali are going to have a bit of a thing. Don't know how I feel about that, but they should give us good matches if they let them go.
I'm just going to wait until which one is going to change their look first.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
And then, to be straight up honest with everybody listening to this right now, this is kind of where Raw stole the week. They have an 8-man tag. It was a pretty good match. A lot of spots, as you imagine an 8-man tag. A lot of guys hitting finishers and such. But Randy Orton gets the hot tag at the end of the night. He clears the house. Then everybody kind of feeds him up. Like not Austin. What do you call it? Riddle hits a kick. And one guy falls into an RKO, and then to another RKO, then Uso from the top rope into an RKO. So he hit all 4 RKOs. He gets the pin, the big pop. The crowd's all throwing a fit because Randy looked like a badass, and I think we all appreciated the nostalgia of it. We all appreciated the moment, and because we're big fans of RKO. Raw steals the week. Way to go, Randy. He's still a champ.
Yes, I 100% agree, since they did a very good job celebrating Randy Orton, so I can see how it could steal the week. And yeah, we were talking about how Jeff is, what if he advances in the tournament the same as Darby, and that's where they finally meet.
Yes, that makes sense. That's what I like about tournaments. If you do it right, you can set up kind of interesting, shoot, these two are going to fight. 2 baby faces, 2 heels. Yeah, I like it. And I think you're destined to get some of that crossover.
My bald man has a first name. It's Tommsao.
Right? But yeah, I mean, so that is kind of the rankings for the week. I know it was you and Will to start this, and then Will got called into action. And,
Gorilla Position just kind of called him in urgently,
Dude,
On the fly.
duty calls. But yes, shocking. So tune in next week. We'll be back to see how the show's fared after another week of wrestling that we will be covering with live coverage every day. Honestly, guys, I don't know many channels that are doing it at this pace and doing it at this level. And we're having so much fun bringing the content. So keep watching and keep voting. So if you don't like where your show finished this week, come back and let us know.
Yes. Hey, it looks like Nick in the chat is just. I love that he's explaining it to me. So thank you very much, because I missed Raw and I like the explanations. I took Nostalgia Night off from AEW for one of WWE's shows. Like, I'm happy with that. And yeah, I know just one of your predictions was done. So
Yeah, just one off, but that's the thing, right? I mean, and I could easily, if AEW had held on to number one and Raw was a close number two, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. But it took it was a big nostalgia night, like we said, and AEW didn't give us a great night. And on paper, when you read it on paper, you're like, that sounds amazing. But the actual watching of the action didn't live up to the billing. And, you know,
SmackDown proved that too. On paper, it looked phenomenal. It starts
Oh
with a
my God.
cage match and everything, and then you get there and it's like, this is sad.
right? Like, how do you finish last of the week and you had a cage match? Should instantly
Yeah.
get you up somewhere. Just the holy shit, it's a cage match. Nope, ruined it. So just a reminder to everyone out there, Let's Rumble podcast is out now and it's rolling along. Check it out. It's also on everywhere you can get a podcast. So give us some love over there as well. Later today, now this is a maybe. We haven't quite figured out the programming for this afternoon. We are slated to do a new episode of Wrasslin down memory lane. And we were going to do Paige because we got to give some love to the ladies. And right. But we might postpone that for 1 week as there's other things going on, and we just got to check into if the logistics of it work out, and if it does, the Iron Man of YouTube wrestling watch parties might be back instead of doing. The deal was I would do one or the other, not both. So that's that might be a thing later this afternoon. So stay tuned to the channel. Click the little bell. So you know that all that's going on, and stay tuned. We might have a little surprise in store for everybody.
Yes. You always got to click the bell because you never know when we're going to show up. You didn't know I was going to be here at the Power Rankings today. So you always got to hit that bell because you're like, oh, there's a show. Who's going to be doing it?
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Absolutely, LJ. And that's the fun part of the channel. Like on the other night, all 5 members were on at some point. That's so cool. Right?
Yes.
So
you're doing the buttons because my arm is dead.
That's all right. I'm doing the buttons. But just subscribe. You know, let everyone know we are here 7 days a week. We have watch parties for all the shows. LJ and Ali are killing it. Well, they're actually killing it with the news and the watch along. So they're a bit of a double threat. So watch out for
best tag team. Woo!
That's it. Watch out for the Crimson Chronicles. They will be hitting the stream at any point, 7 days a week, like they do the start and the end of it. And ring the damn bell, ding ding. Yes. There we go. We will be back all week. If you haven't seen the podcast, it's on the channel as well, and all our content. Check out the library. I just kind of revamped and shuffled a bunch of things up overnight. So check it out, take a look, and tell everybody you know. And we do have a thing going on. If you can prove to me that we gain 10 subscribers due to your referrals, we will send you a t-shirt.
Yes.
Anything else, LJ?
No, I'm good, and I'm happy I could be here for the Power Rankings. And, I'll see you guys tomorrow with the news.
Yes. Well, folks, as always, see you on the flip side. And the flip side might be sooner than you think. Bye for now.